Hello, everybody. This is Yonks with the DAO Hack, bringing you Season 0, Episode 2. And super excited here, hanging out with the team from Coinvice. Also have our regular guest, Robbie Richmond, on with us today. So let's go ahead and join the conversation. I'm going to go ahead and remove this little banner here so that you can see everybody that we've got participating on the live stream here. And I'm going to actually hand it over to Janelle. Janelle is the founder of Coinvice and super excited to have the Coinvice team on the show today. So Coinvice is an up-and-coming new player in the social token platform, and that's who we personally minted the Hack coin with. And later during the episode today, we're actually going to do our very first airdrop for the Hack coin to myself and Robbie. We are basically the co-founders. Robbie said he's going to be a regular guest, and we'll see how regular that is if we continue having fun. So anyway, over to you, Janelle. If you could do a real quick introduction for yourself, that would be great.
Yeah, so thanks for having us. We've been building for about 8 months now, and we're building an open platform where anybody can create a token and build a tokenized community or DAO around the token. And what we really focus on is building tools that not only help you launch a token, but also use the tools to, like you said, do the airdrop, create rewards for getting contributions. And we also have a Discord bot that you can integrate to do all of what you can do on Coinvice onto your own server. So we're trying to expand the tools that we're building next week, and we're launching another version, a big update. But the idea is that we want to build tools that help people launch a token and build a tokenized community.
And fabulous. And you want to do a real quick introduction for Gian, also with the Coinvice team?
Sure. So Gian has been working with us in maintaining operations at Coinvice, and I'll let him take over from here and just give a quick intro.
So, hey. Oh, what's that? Okay, there we go. Hey, all. So I'm Gian. I am one of the community managers at Coinvice. So I'm here to take care of, the communities that Yonks is making, like the RE token, the Hack token, and I think another project upcoming. So yeah, I'll take care of those babies.
Yeah, and I gotta say, Gian, I really appreciated hanging out with you on your Twitch live stream for Coinvice on
Thank you.
Saturday. Like, I actually got a nugget there talking about the Gnosis safe on Polygon. I saw that Teresa Kennedy joined us. She's one of the co-leads at a sister project over there, and just that little nugget that I got from watching the Coinvice Twitch as far as the Gnosis safe on Polygon, we actually implemented that like either that day or over the weekend, because Retoken DAO, we put in a lot of effort to submit for the Gitcoin hackathon. And that would probably be a great segue, because one of the reasons that we chose through Retoken DAO and also through the DAO Hack to utilize Coinvice for our social token was that there wasn't a barrier of entry that we had seen with some of the other social token platforms. And when I'm talking about a barrier of entry, they have more of a gated process. And I understand why that they have that. I mean, because there have been some social token rug pulls and other stuff like that, and they're trying to maintain the integrity and kind of like make it a cleaner dynamic. So I don't know if you wanted to kind of speak to that, Teresa, maybe do a quick introduction as far as like why that we chose Coinvice and kind of like some of the barriers of entry. So over to you, Teresa.
Greetings, gentlemen. Yes, I was really excited to try out Coinvice. The possibilities of more people being able to create social tokens, I think, with your platform is just amazing. We were able to do it. Really, we were just testing it out to see what it was like. And we was actually able to complete the whole process in one phone call with our team for the creation of RE token. And it was seamless. We did not have to pay the gas fees, which was critical for us organizing and being a startup and not having a budget and determining who pays what yet. But still wanting to get something accomplished in this space of tokenization to reward people for their contributions, attending the meetings and working on building out the real estate tokenization DAO. And so the other options that we looked at for creating tokens did require you to go through a vetting process and the approval before you could go and use their platform. But with this one, we just created the account. We uploaded, I really quickly made a logo on Canva and we uploaded it, and our coin was created after connecting it with the Ethereum wallet. And we were able to do distributions. And so I just want to thank you guys for making it so easy for us and integrating the Polygon network on your platform and not just using Ethereum.
Well,
thank you.
I
Thank you so
wanted to
much.
ask if it's intentionally made to be a little harder, in the sense of, when I first found out about Coinvice, Yank shared it to me. What I found really interesting was the interface that I at first saw was one where it said, okay, what kind of coin do you want? Do you want ERC20, Polygon, how many, etc. I thought, oh my God, this is amazing. I love it when the interface just makes it easy without even explanation. I think that's the beauty of like an iPhone or something that does really incredible UI that doesn't make you think, right? And so I saw that, and then I guess you might have done a homepage change, because now I think to even see that screen, you have to connect your wallet. And I'm wondering if that was like, what was the design choice there? Because I love that it first made you think, oh my God, I can create a coin. But now that it's like, before you can even do anything, you have to connect a wallet, which means there's a certain level of proficiency somebody has to have within the ecosystem. Was that intentional by design to slow people down and have a more focused audience on people who already get it? Because I thought the first version I saw was really brilliant, and I'm curious why you went with this version.
So the design choice that we made initially was that a lot of people were really simply creating the token, but since it was so easy to do that, there wasn't really a mission or an idea behind what they can do with the token. And the design choice we made there was that we wanted to showcase like how people are using the token. So the first thing you see when you go on the website is a bunch of bounties or rewards created by other DAOs. And we just really wanted to showcase how people are using their token in a good way, rather than doing the rug pull example that Yonks gave in the beginning. Now, the interesting thing there is that we're coming out with a new version next week, which is built from the ground up. And it's going to really showcase what you just said is the minting aspect of it. Like, that's what you see right away. And I think that version is going to change the way people look at communities forever. I mean, we've built it from scratch. Everything you see is going to be replaced by something new. So it's going to take the elements of like the first version of people what really liked about it and elevate what you already see here.
That's fantastic. I can't wait to see that. I think that, part of this is the education in the space to do it, because I think that there's a big gap between to me, a lot of what's in the crypto space right now feels like early 90s web, where it's like it requires a certain level of understanding, and it's almost like the interface design hasn't quite caught up to the advanced technology. And I'm so glad to hear you're thinking of it that way. Yeah,
definitely. I think like the core idea is that is like initially we were chasing this idea that it needs to be so simple that anybody should be able to understand it. And then we sort of saw examples like Axie Infinity and a bunch of other platforms that were really interesting, where the barriers of entry, or at least the learning curve, was so steep that you had to learn through how to download a wallet, how to set up a key phrase, how to like store it, then how do you set up your profile, and then you get to do what you want to do. And the idea that, like, the observation that we found useful was that if the tool is useful enough, people will learn it. And what we really started to like gauge our focus on is actually making CoinWise useful, rather than focusing too much of our energy into making the onboarding simple. If we make the platform like extremely useful to people, people will figure out the onboarding, like onboarding will figure it out like itself, if that makes sense.
Is the best success story that like you would hope that somebody, us or anybody seeing this podcast, would be easily be able to share with somebody else?
So we've had pretty recently we've had a MEC token launched on CoinWise, which is utilizing the token. This person is an artist, and she creates art, and that art essentially backs the token, and that token is used to fund up and coming women in color in science and technology, and helping them get up to speed with crypto and educating them. And those funds are really used in a novel way, and she's raising those funds via the token by creating beautiful art. So I think that's one of the most like interesting use cases we've seen.
Got it. Very cool. And is the plan to stay completely within ERC20 and Polygon, or to expand other ecosystems?
So we're currently on Ethereum and Polygon. You can do ERC20 tokens. We might even add better support for ERC1115. But again, the core idea is that we sort of want to extend the existing ERC20 contract into something that fits the narrative of what a DAO looks like, rather than taking what's already out there. Because we're seeing like certain specific requirements that are used by DAOs that don't exist in the ERC20 standard. So we're actually working on standardizing the token contract so that it better suits at least the pattern we've seen with DAOs so far.
And that pattern is what?
So that pattern is essentially around this idea that a token is really like a bare bones version of a DAO. And if you really had to extend it, there's some like really bare bones abilities that the contract should have, like governance, like built-in governance, where you can submit your proposals directly on Snapshot. You don't have to create a separate account. You don't have to go through the gruesome process. It should be built into the token contract. And it should be built in where you can add multiple stakeholders. So the token itself naturally has a lot of stakeholders, and it represents sort of a group of people with a particular mission. So you should be able to add these stakeholders to the contract with a set percentage. Things like lockup. So traditionally, or at least what we've seen so far, is that people have locking or vesting schedules with a cliff period for stakeholders to ensure that they're committed to the project. So I think these kinds of things are like extremely like bare bones and required in any contract. So we're trying to extend that in the next version.
Very cool. So it sounds like you're bringing in DAO functionality to what has been
Right.
Mainly purely tokenomics until now.
Right.
Got it. Great. And are you venture funded, or is it bootstrapped? Or?
It's venture funded. We raised our pre-seed and seed in June 29th. It was featured in CoinDesk. And yeah, it's venture funded.
And who's the venture fund?
So we're backed by, the round was led by IDEO and Galaxy, with participation from Scalar Capital, A Capital, and angel investors, obviously.
That's fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about that process, because that's something that I'm learning myself, as far as the path to crypto project startup funding. So if you could kind of lift up your skirt as much as that you're willing to here on the live screen, that would be fabulous, Janil.
So our process was a bit different because we actually launched our product on December 4th. And on January 1st, we closed our beta and opened it up to people. And we actually started raising in late February, early March. So by the time we started raising, we actually had the product launched. It had users. It was at a stage where most seed companies would be in the idea stage or pre-product stage, whereas we were post-launch. So it was definitely demonstrable where the investors could test it out and really see what we're building. They could even see the vision of where the platform was sort of evolving into, and yeah, it just came together. Crypto, at least we've minted a lot of these investors that have been really proactive and are the community naturally forms around it, right? So the fundraising was really simple after that.
Awesome. Wanted to do a real quick plug over here. I'm gonna bring it full front and center. Oh, I'm actually not sharing. Let me bring up that share here. So those of you that are potentially watching or listening to this via the podcast, you won't be able to see this. So this is a reason to connect to the DAO Hack Discord and join the event. So this is a POAP event. For those that aren't familiar of POAP, that's the Proof of Attendance Protocol. And I can't tell you how many DMs that I've gotten from just the first episode, Robbie, that you and I launched, our episode 0 technically, and then episode 1 as far as. So it's pretty amazing. I'm just personally starting to collect these. I think I actually collected my first one at a significant event. It was the ETH Denver launch party where they were launching Spork DAO in Denver, and I was able to attend that in person. And Spork DAO is another project that I'm personally interested in. And anyway, so that being said, DM me for and one of the things I'm going to work on getting the POAP bot set up here, and when I do, I'll defer that. But the claim code is going to be retoken on the POAP bot. And I don't have that in place, but I do have the claim codes. You're going to only have 5 days to collect the POAP here for this event. So make sure you DM me for your POAP. This is the first co-branded POAP that I did. Got the nice little Coinvice logo on there. So super excited. This one is a unique POAP to showcase the episode. So anyway, want to keep the conversation going here. So let's go back to Janelle. Let's can you talk about how many creators have minted a coin, and then as far as what does that look like for creators that are actually utilizing some of the other capabilities on your platform? If you could share some of those numbers and again, paint a little better perspective as far as how much progress that you guys have made. It sounds like 2021 has been a whirlwind. Congrats again on your venture capital raise. Super excited to see what you guys. So what do you got for us on the numbers there, Janelle?
So we've seen a little over 200 tokens minted, off of which we've seen really successful communities built out of, like Global Coin Research and Forefront, which I don't know if you guys have heard of them, but they're doing incredibly well. And they're communities that individually act as their own companies almost, because they have their own market cap well over 10 million. And there's a lot of these other vibrant communities that are forming that are continuing to do well around whatever their mission is. So I think Forefront and GCR are the ones that really stand out. And if you really want to go abstract and really art and NFT space, we've seen Squiggle DAO, which also is one of my favorite projects around generative art, which was minted on Coinwise.
Wow. And what is your revenue model?
So the way we monetize is you would have probably already seen is through airdrops. We charge a 2.5% fee on the bulk airdrops that you can do on Coinwise.
And have you considered, because I'm thinking about this, well, let me ask this question first before I ask the second one. What in your mind is massive success? Is it certain key groups or organization that you're I would love for them to use this? Is it mass adoption? Like when you start dreaming about this, what are the indicators to you where you're yes, we're crushing it? What are those headlines? What do you see in the future?
Yeah, what we envision is like yourself. Like we want to see a lot of successful DAOs or high value DAOs. We don't really chase like the number of tokens or like the volume. We chase like value. So it's okay if we have like maybe 5, 10, or even 25 DAOs, but we want them to be really, really valuable. And we've seen 3 or 4 of them do exceedingly well. So we really chase like those kinds of communities that have really found their identity around the token and that have leveraged it to like sort of give themselves superpowers. So that's our metric that we look for, is that we want to get as many high value communities as possible operating autonomously, all powered by Coinwise. Again, Coinwise not being the institution that is sort of centralized, but it's almost like Uniswap that sort of powers a lot of these DAOs.
Because what comes to mind with this is the Red Hat Linux model, and I'm curious if you're considering that, because I've watched Yonks go through this of doing like the name and connecting all these things together, and it's interesting because I've been in tech for a while too, but those things just kind of overwhelm me, right? And so it seems like with something like with Linux, it's a free system, but it's a multi-billion-dollar company that helps other companies implement Linux, right? So I'm curious how much you're thinking about those add-on kind of services of consulting, of how to think about tokenomics, of how to think about like all these things that surround it beyond the technology. It seems like there's a lot of value potential there.
Definitely. So we actually do that with select communities. So we have this thing called Coinwise Stewards that help communities build their product and grow, or anything that they need help with, like token economics, how to get started, what tools to use if they get stuck on anything. So we do have Coinwise Stewards that we announced previously, where that's what we do.
Second word I couldn't quite understand. Coinwise
Stewards.
Stewards.
Yeah. So they join these discords and communities that we pair them with. One of them is Jian, and they work with them to ensure that everything is running smoothly. They get help with token design or whatever else you guys need help with, and just have that additional layer of assistance beyond just technology.
Very cool.
So I wanted to see if, Teresa, you've been pretty quiet over there. Did you want to chime in and ask the Coinvise team any questions here while we have them at our disposal, if you will?
I think Robbie's done a great job. Amazing. Pulling out some good questions on your business model and where you're going in the future. I don't have any questions specifically.
I'm curious. When we took a look at the DAO space, and Yonks, you probably even sent me an article on this that shows, to me the feeling of where DAOs are at and coins and everything is kind of this duct taping things together, in the sense of you've got like the Gnosis safe, you've got Snapshot, you've got Boardroom, which they say rides on top of Snapshot, you've got this POAP thing going on over here, then you've got the Discord to discuss it, then you've got the things like all the different kind of governance methods, from quadratic voting to these different ways to structure. Like the overall feeling culturally I get from this is like the feeling is that it's like you're duct taping this thing together, right? And that's where I see a problem potential with the mass adoption of both the people creating it, but then the ones using it. Something I said to Yonks, I asked, what's a DAO I can get involved with right now, right? And he said, well, why don't you check out Bankless? And I go to that, and I get on the Discord, and it says, okay, you might have bank here, or here's how you can earn it. And I'm like, I just want to buy my way in. There wasn't a way to buy it. I had to contact support and say, and they told me, go to Matcha Exchange, get the bank coin, do this, get in here. I'm like, maybe you guys want to put that on the first sentence there, because I'm trying to give you money, right? So it feels very, very wonky to me right now, just the space in general. And I'm wondering what you see, like how does this move forward away from being like just geeky people who are willing to put the time in to figure all this out and put these things together into something that's much smoother. Like, how do you see that journey evolving?
Boy, I don't know if that question was directed to me, but it's been and I think we have learned so much just during the Gitcoin decentralized governance hackathon. And you brought up Boardroom, and I actually wanted to. I've got that up here. This was a hackathon that we, the Retoken DAO community, really rallied behind. If I get really motivated, I might throw some links into this post production, but the Retoken DAO Discord was a great place. And where I was going with that here is that some of the projects that we submitted, instead of like duct tape, I prefer to look at it as more of like Lego blocks, where you kind of like put what Lego block that you want. Like we chose Snapshot Labs, snapshot.org. And let me just bring that up here, because we actually did just our initial proposals here super recently, actually this weekend, and we've got a very important community call coming up tonight. So, and we still have some of these in process as far as the Legos, but we weren't really that technical. I've got a little bit of technical background, but not on the development or coding side. And I didn't really think, like, especially the snapshot, the Coinvice part was absolutely the easiest. And Robbie can attest to this a little bit. Like, those people that watched our episode 0, we actually ran into, and I don't know what the challenge was with Coinvice, where we weren't able to mint the token during our live stream. But one of the things that I do want to do is give some shout out to the Discord or the Coinvice help team, because I actually submitted, and I'm going to bring that up over here on the live stream, where the Coinvice team was super responsive. And this was a message that I posted on the Coinvice Discord here on September 3rd, so just a couple days ago. And then like super responsive by the Coinvice team. So thank you guys over there. And I don't know if I'm saying his name right, Mihir did anything behind the scenes, but we ended up getting the hack coin successfully minted on there. Did a tweet indicating that milestone on our Twitter feed. So again, super excited, and thank you again to the Coinvice team for being supportive. So that's one of the help channels that you can plug into there for Coinvice. So did you want to shed any comments there, Robbie, as far as our experience on episode 0 the other day?
Well, I mean, I kind of summarized some of it. I'm curious if Janelle sees, where this ecosystem's going.
Yeah, I think it's like pretty fragmented right now, just because these individual problems itself are so complicated to fix. It's difficult to do everything at once, right? So everybody's sort of focusing on their own like niche and just trying to solve that problem in the best way possible. And then hopefully, like, we'll come at a point where right now it's more decoupling, and then it's what we see with different platforms right now is sort of clubbing it together, where you not only offer these like governance, but you sort of integrate a lot of these tools, sort of like Coinbase is doing. They sort of waited out, and then they were about to release the lend feature. But I think like we've solved a lot of these problems. What we're trying to do is that we're slowly trying to make our way into a point where you don't have to go over the complexities of setting up a Gnosis safe, of minting a token, and then like figuring out governance on Snapshot, or doing something else like on a different platform than doing like staking or yield farming on Yearn or what have you. But slowly we're trying to add these tools like built into Coinvice, so that it's built into the ecosystem. And it's almost like the vision that we have is similar to Apple. We want to do things right. Like, we don't want to rush into it, but we want to ensure that whatever we launch is done right, and then we can slowly add on to the ecosystem. And then hopefully that caters to the audience in a way where they don't have to jump around these different platforms.
So you're saying, when you talk about, you said like Gnosis, the minting, the governance, the staking, just to clarify, are you saying that you're looking to build this functionality into Coinvice?
Not really. So I mean, the way we're looking at it is either integrating it somehow, or because a lot of these platforms have gone too deep, where they've built really robust like APIs and developer ecosystems where you can actually integrate it seamlessly without and give credit to them for what they've built, and still like the end user wins because now they have it all in one place.
Got it. And is there, for somebody starting up a project on this, is there something that they need to consider? Obviously, it's kind of a charged, loaded question that might not even be clear, but in terms of securities, do people have to be? Is this something that they have to take into consideration as they're creating this?
Definitely. I mean, we actually posted a really holistic article on the social tokens as a security, and it's on our wiki. I can maybe link it to the chat. But essentially what it goes over, without giving any legal advice, is that tokens, as long as they're utility tokens, which means that it has some kind of utility and not just offering any kind of financial gain in the future, then that won't be considered a security. Again, refer to the document that we posted out, which again goes over much in detail. But what we strongly advise, or what we strongly suggest, is having utility and not like suggestive financial gain or pump and dump, as what people call it. But the token, like, have it as something like a utility token.
What types of things are the existing people who use it? What types of things are they using it as that qualify as being used as a utility?
So one of the great aspects about the token is that you can really identify who our top supporters are, and you can. So we've seen people cater like really intimate experiences for them. We've seen people even do NFT drops, and then people who buy the NFTs can get the tokens as a way of showing support and seeing how they play complementary to each other. We've seen them act as a way for like rewarding any kind of like, let's say, content creation on Forefront, where if you write an article on there, you get rewarded with a certain amount of Forefront tokens. And the same thing with, let's say, RAC or any other music artist, where if you do hold the token, you get access to their events. So these are like different forms of utility, obviously governance and all the other ones that you've already known. But people have gotten really creative, as creative in the sense that people have done human IPOs, where Alex Masmage, one of the earliest experiments around social token, and still my favorite one, where he raised $20,000 via the token, where he did like an ISA for his 3 years of income for people that invested him in early, and that helped him move to San Francisco and build a Showtime. So it's again a really beautiful story.
And those types of things meet the litmus test of utility to circumvent the SEC requirements of it being a security?
Mm-hmm. So what the article, I mean, the gist of it, like the idea to think about it is essentially that, does this in any kind of way suggest any financial gain in future? Right? And if there's an obvious way where you can point out that this token suggests like financial gain in future, or people are buying it purely off of a speculative aspect, then that's a red flag. Right? And these tokens are really like all about utility, not about the price. Like the utility should ultimately drive the price, but again, utility should be the heart of it. And again, I strongly refer everybody to read the article we posted out on social tokens as a security, which everybody should read before they launch the token.
One more question for you from me. If once a person creates their token, the social token, and what is the next steps? What are people doing as the next steps? I think they have the utility to actually generate some income for their cause.
Right. So let's take a very simple example. Let's say I'm creating art online, right? It's very, we've seen a lot of great examples around that. Let's say I'm doing that and I create a social token. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to send it out to trusted people. So you can use the airdrop, the bulk airdrop for that, which a lot of people use for, again, I say trusted people because you shouldn't just airdrop anybody. So you would send these out to trusted people. And then next thing would be to actually start working on, let's say, how you can utilize this token to better drive art. So I can say that instead of me just creating art, how about but the community creates art together. So I can reward these tokens to other people in the Discord, saying that, hey, if you create art for me, and if we create art together, we can all split the earnings that we can collectively like make it a multiplayer game, and I can reward them with tokens for doing that work. So that's a really great example of utility where everybody we're creating a positive sum game where people gather together because they all love art. They all create art together. So we change it. The token helps you change it from being just me single player to a multiplayer, and whatever earnings that you're getting can be equally split or proportionately split between everyone, and that's a great DAO example.
Well, one of the things that it was talking about doing here today during the live stream is actually utilizing Coinvice to do the very first fair launch airdrop for that. So before I do that, I want to see if there's any other questions at the forefront of Robbie's or Teresa's minds, and then we'll work on bringing this to a close. And again, I'm going to just bring up the opportunity. If you're a POAP collector, feel free to DM me, and I'm going to be working on getting a bot set up. Been struggling a little bit. The POAP bot, they're kind of in between version 1 and version 2. Anyway, a little bit of a... so DM me. The POAP is fabulous for that. So anyway, back over to the panel here. Was there any questions from Robbie or Teresa before we actually do the fair launch airdrop for the Hack coin, our very first airdrop here on LiveStream?
Let's do it.
Was that a consensus on the do it?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Well, I have one more question.
Okay, go for it, Teresa.
Along the line of monetizing your token once you create it on Coinvice. The instances that you referenced where the guy raised $20,000 and the lady that was selling her art, were they putting that on an exchange, or how are they receiving the money for those sales?
So what you can do is if it does want to have economic value, then you can create a liquidity pool on Uniswap that you can back the ETH with and create a pair. And we have, again, if you go to our wiki, we have amazing tutorials on how to do that. So that's a good way. Uniswap is something we recommend.
Yeah, and I gotta say kudos to you guys. There's so much quality information on your wiki that I need to go back and circle through that, and might even bring that up. We're hosting a Retoken DAO community call at 7 p.m. tonight. Also, this is being multi-streamed to both the DAO Hack and the Retoken DAO channels, and I'll definitely put a link in there for both of the Discords, the DAO Hack and the Retoken DAO. So anyway, it looks like let's move on to the actual airdrop, and I'm gonna go front and center on the screen over here. So one of the things that I noticed here, I didn't have any Matic over here. So one of the things the Coinvice team did a very good job making it easy to switch. I'm actually already on the Matic, and I'll show you because it'll probably be on the Ethereum main network. So let me actually show you what that looks like over here. So it switched automatically, very great user experience. And then you've got this procedure or this little switch to Matic network. And since the Hack tokens are on the Polygon Matic network, and I'm going to go ahead and switch the network over here using the portal, and then going to go over here to create an airdrop. And just showing here, we've got the 10 million hack that we minted, and that's a standard amount. Like that's not configurable, if I understand your portal. Is that correct?
Not until, I mean, it was 10 million until now, but next week we're going to make it dynamic. So you can choose your own amount.
Awesome. Well, that makes sense. And that's awesome that you guys are mixing that up, because this isn't the only Web3 community that I'm personally planning on launching. Not going to let any alpha out of the bag here, but we were having some great conversations on Retoken DAO last night as far as a new project that we're pipelining, and more to come on that. So anyway, on with the goods here. And while I'm going through this process, one of the things that we were having a brief conversation in the back room before you hopped on, Janelle, was that we're planning on doing a proposal to reward hack tokens for any of the guests that come on. So if you could send a DM in the private chat with your wallet address, and this is assuming that the proposal will go through, but since there's only 2 people, Robbie and myself, that will be the initial token holders, I would be surprised if we don't move that proposal forward. Anyway, let's do this airdrop right now. So over here, create the airdrop, and we're going to do the retoken. Or no, hack, 10 million hacks. So we're going to do just a airdrop here. So we've got yonks.eth, and 1,000 is what Robbie and I agreed to. And I've got Robbie's wallet address right here. Before I click on the thing, make sure that that's the right one there, Robbie. And we'll do 1,000 to you. Does that one look good?
Yep.
Awesome. So this is the initial token distribution to launch hack. All right, so check the allowance to spend your hack. So is this the transaction fee that you were talking about, Janine?
Not really. This is just you allowing Coinwise to send these tokens. We need to be extremely explicit about, taking permission before we can send your tokens to somebody. So
got it.
It's just getting your approval, and then once the approval happens, you can view the transaction on Polygon Scan. And once that happens and that is successful, then you can go back to the page you were, and there you can. It takes a minute, but then you can just press send, and it will send the tokens.
Okay, so and one of the things that we noticed, because I was actually doing the okay, so this is the send that you were talking about, and
yeah.
I might have do I need to actually click on send to finalize this?
Yeah.
Okay, because that might have been a step that I missed myself a couple times.
Right. Now that's the fee that I mentioned, which is the 0.25%, which is 0.002 that goes to Coinwise, which is the airdrop fee, how we monetize.
Okay. So do you guys have a breakdown as far as the coins that are minted on the Ethereum mainnet versus Polygon?
I think it's 80 to 20. We've seen 20% on Polygon and 80% on Ethereum.
Okay, so you guys are getting the majority of your revenue from the gas on the Ethereum mainnet tokens, then.
Yeah.
And why do people choose that over Polygon then, if it's so much lower fees?
So people tend to be hybrid. Is something we suggest everybody. Is you can actually mint your token on Ethereum, and then you can bridge your token to Polygon and do the high volume transactions on Polygon, which is like airdrops. But you can still have the option, like if you mint it on mainnet, you can have the option to do high value transactions like pooling liquidity, any kind of high value transaction on Ethereum mainnet. So you can actually be hybrid on both chains, which is something we suggest.
Interesting. Got it. And by using these networks, does that essentially mean it's public? Like somebody wouldn't be able to create their own private system this way. By being in the ecosystem of those, somebody can trade into it because it's on that same standard. Is that correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Got it.
All right. It looks like the transaction is still sending, and I don't know if
Can
we
you
have
click
any
on the transaction, the below send tokens.
Which one?
Yeah, there you go.
The view transaction?
Yeah, if you can just click on it, that'll take you to a page. Whoops, the other one. I think, yeah, just click on it. Yeah, there you go. So it is actually sent, it's pretty quick, to these two addresses, 1,000 each, and you can see it on Polygon, the confirmation.
Nice. Well, there you go, Robbie. You should have 1,000 hack coins in your wallet now. So thank you for giving me the courage to get this launched. I definitely didn't need some other projects, but I'm super excited. This is kind of a fun project, and Retoken DAO is definitely where rubber meets the road, where we're working on creating. And I think that what we're doing here at the DAO Hack will provide a lot of value to the community as well. But I do want to be respectful of everyone's time. I'm seeing that we're at the hour here. Is there any final thoughts before we bring this to a wrap?
No, I think I'm just thank you for having us. Thank you for using the platform. We really appreciate everybody that is a supporter of the platform. And yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you for creating a platform that makes it easy for creators like us to launch and build on something that can be pretty overwhelming from a technical standpoint, and looking forward to all the resources that you guys are going to continue to provide, and just the creator collaboration that hopefully will be fostered there in the Coinvice community. So thanks again to the Coinvice team. Anybody else have some final thoughts before we bring this to a wrap?
I think that was
Yeah,
great. Thank you.
make your token on Coinvice. You don't need any invites or applications, if you know what I'm saying.
Wow, thank you all for communicating with us today about your company and what you're doing. I think it's amazing. I'm so glad that you all got funding that you needed to be able to develop and make this product even better. When you get everything set up and integrated in well, I am looking forward to making more tokens and spreading the word about what you guys are doing. I think it's absolutely amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
And just one final plug, whatever channel that you're on, smash the subscribe button. Make sure you subscribe on the podcast. I'm going to go ahead and bring this to a wrap. Thanks again to the Coinvice team. I'm going to go ahead and end the broadcast now.